content of this channel is for mature audiences. Parental discretion is advised. You're tuned in to the Green Gorilla channel. Please make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell notification button. And please, feel free to share the video. Thank you.
What's good, everybody? You know who I am, man. I'm GG, and you're tuned in to the Green Gorilla channel. It's the place where black men can express themselves freely, straight up, no chasers, man. First things first, man, I want to give a shout out to all the haters who might bump across the video, man. Shout out to y'all, man. I hope y'all having a good Friday evening. That's for the haters right there. And also, if you haven't done so already, man, make sure you hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and hit the bell notification button so you can stay abreast of what's going on here on the Green Gorilla channel. And also, man, shout out to all the brothers out there right now, man. Brotherly love, thank you for the donation, sir. Appreciate that. But I want to say each and every one of the people who are in the chat's name. You know, shout out to Media Man Rue. Shout out to Hasim Abdul Jalil. Shout out to Shadow Observer. Shout out to John Jones. Shout out to Meta Ace. Shout out to Yasuki the Turtle Island Assassin. Shout out to Indigo Flow. Shout out to Hannibal, Electrician 480. Shout out to K Williams. Shout out to Yusef Green. Shout out to Jason. Shout out to all y'all. Dominique, I see you in here, man. Shout out to Hybrid Ninjas. Shout out to Lubens Bonham. No, I am not an alpha. I am an omega. Shout out to A.L. Evans. Shout out to GSU 204. 2004, actually. And just shout out to all the men that are out there. Peace out to y'all, man. Thank you, Metaforce. My bad, bro. Hey, I'm sorry, brother. But shout out to Metaforce. Shout out to Chaos Reign. Shout out to all the brethren out there, man. And, you know, I have to give a shout out to all the members of the Green Gorilla channel. So let me take care of that jazz. And we'll proceed on to the proceeds, okay? So shout out to Lord Hamal, Brotherly Love, 215, Lee Ways, Michael Ross, Vincent Lindsay, Michael Pierce, Beautiful Trauma, Quiz the Poet, Black Quizzard, ADOS, and Jaztec. Big up. Big up to Shadow Observer, J. Cleveland Green, Sugar T, Artisan MC, Big Said, Nasiana, Kyle J. Sura, Kareem, Troy Warren, Blacksword 404, and Jeff Hart. Big up. Big up to Mrs. KP Bailey, Cutting Up with the Jones, Show Me, Ricky Dawson, Alan Wiley, The Face, Mantis on Break, Electrician 480, Life of Commerce, Apex Prowler, and Julius Ferguson. Big up. Big up to Truth 7360, J. Bino the Advocate, Herbert Lewis, D. Scott, Marvin Evans, A. Wilson's Ghost, Rogus Son, L. Fry, Timothy Blewett, Jeffrey Speed, and Marvin Battle Jr. Big up. Big up to Mart Holt, John J., the IDP Expressions, Afro Troop TV, Adam, Tahuti, BGS Ibmore, Ignatz Mouse, Brian Peaks, Papa Didas, and Scott Haywood. Big up. Big up to Black Uru Strikes, Dr. Tree 33, Leroy Honeycutt, Broken Blade, Supertech, 77 Base X, Brian McMurray, Karen S., Anthony Davis, Donnell 360, and Seven Coast Dojo. Big up. Big up to Pulpit 28, Charles Rogers, Rick Ross, Sandra Jean, Charles Gilmore, Patricia Colley, Greg, Barry Little, Mr. Valentino, Jason Hales, and Black Men Being Brutally Honest. Big up. Big up to Cameron 87, Dr. Rock, Mark Swift, Odd Collar, Donald Watts, hiphop.catv, Coach Hotep, Old Soul Chief, Mr. Blue Collar, Barnolis, and I'm Just Jules. Big up. Big up to TD Hip Hop Media, Drew Main, Mr. Heat, Sir Anthony, ML Law, Universal 178, Rasheed Barnes, Aaron Smith, and DH. Big up. Big up to Beware of the Revelator, Gold Professor, and Aaron Infinite. And I can't forget my brothers in heaven, David Carroll, Force Windu, and Kevin Samuels. Big up to all y'all, man. Also, on the Patreon side, I got to give a shout out to Dr. Ben Vincent, Charles Fontentot, I Am the Light of My Father, Waffle Weave, Lamont Latimer, William Joyner, Rufus Winfield, Dornell Smith, Excalibur, Jason Warren, Anu 219, Pursuer Prisoner, Taz, Dragon 59, Adrian Hicks, Jay Bailey, Mr. Michi, and the Sangua. Y'all deserve a round of applause. Thank you. Thank you so much for helping me to keep the channel going and supporting me in this endeavor. I appreciate all the help and the support. And if you are inquiring about how you can also contribute towards keeping the Green Gorilla channel afloat, here's how you do it. Here's how you do it. What's good, everybody? I'm the G with a PhD, and you're tuned in to the Green Gorilla channel, the place where black men can express themselves freely, straight up, no chaser. Today, I want to introduce you to my new membership program that consists of 5 levels where you can invest in the Green Gorilla channel on a monthly basis and receive level-specific perks. Memberships are special because they improve the quality of the content of the channel and will help me to be able to keep the channel going. Now, to participate in the Green Gorilla channel membership program, all you have to do is hit the join button, which is located right next to the subscribe button on my channel page. Now, for all of my subscribers who decide not to participate in my membership program, nothing will change. The content will keep coming the way it always has. Thanks for watching, and be careful out here, people. Bless. All right, man, we back. You know who I am. I'm Gigi. You're tuned in to the Green Gorilla channel. It's the place where black men can express themselves freely, straight up with no chasers. Sorry for the odd time that I'm, coming on. I had planned to do this at 5:15. However, duty called, and, I had to help somebody move some furniture. So, you got to do what you got to do. So I did what I had to do. And it is what it is. But today, I brought a guest with me, of course. As you know from the thumbnail, Marcus Aurelius, keep it 100. What's cracking with you, bro?
How you doing, ladies and gentlemen? It's your DJ Easy Dick. It's Jack off Hour. W
Okay.
Balls.
Yeah, I feel you, man. I hear you. I hear you, Death Row Records. I hear you. But yeah, man. So today, and I know, and Marcus kind of mentioned this to me in the back of the house, like, the title for the video is pretty nondescript. It's vague and ambiguous. But one of the reasons that it is because, I'm not going to say I'm shadow banned totally, but I mean, anytime I put up a video initially, it automatically gets, the prompt that, we have to approve. You have to have a human reviewer look at this to determine whether or not it can be monetized. And look, wow. I'm not really looking for monetization for real when it comes to these videos anyway, because you only get like for 1,000 views or some shit, what you get like 70 cents. So unless you popping off with like 1 million or so people watching your videos, you ain't making bank like that. But still, if it is the case that the video is something that has to be reviewed, then it's not really actually being promoted in the algorithm at all anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So, it is what it is. I'm trying to walk light. You feel me? But at any rate, I want to give a shout out to Dar. Thank you so much for becoming a member of the Green Gorilla channel. Appreciate that. Appreciate that. So shout out to Black Men Being Brutally Honest. Kevin, what's cracking with you, my brother? Hope you're having a good evening. Shout out to Excalibur as well and all the brothers who just came in. Shout out to Clutch and Stick. But anyway, man, we're here to have a conversation. And I'm going to let the conversation be led by my guest, which is, pretty non-traditional in relation to running the show. But he had some things that he wanted to get off his chest, and he felt like he expressed them ad nauseum on his own venue. But he wanted to, pick my brain and to express my thoughts on this issue. And, he's always welcome to do so. So having said that, holla at me, bro. What's good?
Hey, what's poppin', ladies and gentlemen? Ladies and gentlemen, check this out, man. Most of y'all, regardless of the name of the or the title of the video, y'all can see the thumbnail, and most of y'all that follow me on Facebook already know what this is. Y'all know what this is. Okay, you know what this is. First, even before we get into the conversation, I want to first say this. Because this conversation is inspired by a back and forth that I've been having with one Adam/Davi MGTOW on Facebook. I want to let the public know that me and this kid are not enemies. We talk all the time on the phone. Like, this is my man. We just are disagreeing, right? So, I just want to put that out there so that people understand that this is a difference of of ideology, a difference of opinion, and this is like how you call out your man for whatever how can I say for pretty much what I've been doing on Facebook, where he for me, a lot of things that he's been saying, it's not been adding all the way up for me, but at the end of the day, that's an opinion on his point of view, not necessarily the man. So I just want to put that out there because people have been watching this back and forth go on for like over a week, and they think that me and this guy are beefing, or they think that I'm going to roast him, kind of in the way that Amiri Brown got roasted yesterday.
Yeah, I'm not into really going back and forth and roasting motherfuckers.
I understand
that.
But let's address that for a second.
Okay, so it's been addressed. You have a conversation. I don't really know exactly what the intricacies of that conversation are.
Right.
However, you wanted to ask me a certain set of questions about a topic. And, typically, I don't talk about mating and dating and shit like that. I just, I'm going to explain to you why before you even begin to ask me any questions. Because, I'm a third and a home run based problem type nigga.
So, exactly. So, understand this. My last video was called Just So There's No Misunderstandings, where we spoke on this. And the reason why I decided to bring this to the Green Gorilla channel is, number one, I didn't want to do 2 back-to-back videos on the same topic. Number two, I wanted to speak to my man right here. If I did it on my channel, I would have brought him near, but I'd rather do it on his channel. I mean, most of my guys are going to be here, and then I can speak to his guys, right? So this conversation, I mean, I'm reading the chat, man, and see, we would be remiss, and I know you probably want to avoid yesterday's topic, man, but it's I know I see a bunch of guys in the chat addressing it. Out of respect, I won't talk about that if you don't want to speak on it, but it was quite an event. If anyone missed yesterday's video, I suggest you watch that on the BGS Moore's channel. I won't say it any deeper than that, but he got Joe Rogan.
Well, I'm not going to even,
I hear you, brother, but it ain't you saying it, it's me.
Okay, well, like when I have conversations, man, I don't look to roast or to berate. I just look to tease out the truth and whatever it is I'm speaking about. And so, sometimes things get contentious between men, and that's to be expected. That shit's gonna happen. And so
there was a lot of homina in his speech. Okay, homina.
Yeah, I mean, hey, it is what it is, man. People have differences of opinion. They have different worldviews and perspectives, and that's fine. You know what I'm
Motherfuckers got
saying? I just,
differences
my
of
whole thing
education.
is, I'm not gonna get mad because a guy doesn't think the way I think or have, he doesn't have the same opinions I have about a whole host of issues. If I was mad every day because a man held a different viewpoint than I did, I'd be mad all the goddamn time.
No, but it's not about that. See, this is the thing, right? What a lot of guys are viewing that, and this is before we get into the topic. A lot of guys are viewing that topic this way. It's not about difference of opinion. It's about being disingenuous, intellectually dishonest. All right, presenting and purporting yourself to be one thing, and you're not that thing. See, Mr. Brown presents himself as some, self-taught academic motherfucker, read a bunch of books, and he can't recite any of this stuff without the book in front of him. You're all right. He's textbook gangster. You understand what I'm saying? And what happened yesterday is a real educated motherfucker came in the room and made him look like weak sauce. Okay, that's what happened. And
yeah, I can't really even recall exactly what the conversation consisted in, but
right.
At the end of the day,
Right.
you can look at patriarchy in a variety of different ways. From my perspective, patriarchy actually is, if you're talking about it from a cultural, political perspective, patriarchy is just a few dudes who are powerful, who form kinship networks in order to thwart the efforts of men who exist outside of that circle. It could be racial grounds, it could be religious or ethnic. But the whole point is, it's men typically who war and fight for territory, and who, basically enforce their will geographically. And so, it goes without saying that, that's how the system actually is. And if we're critiquing Western culture, it's definitely going in here in the idea that you got a group of powerful and wealthy men, and the people who are part of their circle, people who support and endorse their political, social frame. I mean, they're going to be part of the patriarchy as well. So women can also be part of the patriarchy. I don't see any inconsistency in that. Okay.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, the whole idea that, women naturally are the stewards of children, and men, are the type of creatures who must go outside of the home and go to work and then bring back, what they have gained outside in the work, right? I did a whole video on that shit about men and women working, and like the idea that men are supposed to go off to work and bring back the bag or bring back the booty from the hunt. It's like,
understand this, bro.
Wait a minute. Let me finish my thought, and then I'm gonna let you express, what you got to express. But at the end of the day, most of humanity, man, lived in parochial environments, meaning small, close-knit environments, man, where they didn't really go too far away from where they lived, and they earned money. If you want to talk about it that way, they earned a living closely and proximately around their home. And we're talking about making a living in the context of a pre-industrial society. I mean, most of history, is a pre-industrial, adventure, with the human species. We're not talking about, millions of people commuting 20, 30 miles away from their home every day and then going to make money and then commuting back home. And there's a woman there who's just looking after the children. That's some newfangled shit. That's just not the way, human history has played out. Most of the work was done on a local farm in a parochial environment, and both men and women had to work in order to eat. You don't work, you don't eat, bro. It's just what it is. You understand what I'm saying? So that's my take on it. I just feel like we have these anachronistic arguments predicated upon what people today perceive manhood as being related to the market, related to, some shit that they watched on television, or, the things that they've heard that they should be aiming for, or what they should be seeking to achieve. I just, look, man, men and women both work in a parochial environment around the farm, and they had different kinds of duties, but oftentimes they would share those duties. The idea that women are the natural caretakers of children, yeah, up into a certain period. But I mean, if you look at history, particularly the history of Western culture, man, the kids, of course they belong to their mothers, but, if the woman starts tripping and acting a damn fool and wants to divorce or break out, or do something slovenly, then the kids went with the father, not with the mother. I mean, that's just if you're talking about Western culture, okay? And it wasn't until, the early 1900s the 19th century that began to change. That's just the way it is. It's like the kids are the fathers, not the mothers. Now, we know the kids are birthed by women. We know this. It's not something we're lost on. But in terms of being able to make executive decisions, look, if you got two people in a household, how are decisions going to be arbitrated if there's contention between both parties? Who's going to get the last say? Is it going to be men or women? Either way, somebody's going to make the decision. Now, all we're saying is in this space, and I think most men here would agree, that the decisions are placed in the hands of women contemporarily, because they have the power of the court, family court, they have the power of public opinion, and they have this idea that, men are oppressive. They are somehow impinging upon the freedom of women, and making sure that women are like barefoot and pregnant in the house or something like that. I don't know where all of this is coming from, but, because to me it's not historically accurate,
So,
but go ahead.
So understand this, and I hear everything you're saying, but what I'm speaking to is, I guess, like I said, that was your first time encountering Homeboy, and people know my history with Homeboy, and they have their own experiences with old boy, whether they dealt with him on their own and they've dealt with, or they've watched him berate black men on Facebook day after day after day, 5 minutes apart posts, putting black men down, calling them conquered, calling them weak, all the names in the book, like he's Clayton Bigsby or some shit, right? As far as his views on patriarchy, first of all, patriarchy is a defined word that has a definition. All the John Locke shit that he wants to bring up into the conversation, under the premise that the other person won't be privy to that information so he can misuse it. That's what he's relying on. What he does is he reads a bunch of books and then he throws it into the conversations, no matter how irrelevant the information is. And what he's doing is he's hoping that either the people listening or the person he's talking to is not familiar with what he's speaking on so that he can misuse it. Until somebody walks in the room that is, and makes him look like a fucking fool, right? Now, again, patriarchy is a word that has a definition. We know that patriarchy is a system. A patriarch can be a father. He's saying patriarchy is fatherhood. So if patriarchy is fatherhood, and we got all these women talking about down with the patriarchy, what sense does that make? The problem with Amiri is he is the antithesis of the message that he's delivering. He's saying that patriarchy is bad, and so is the nuclear family. Yet he is a patriarch with a nuclear family. This is a man that works overtime to support 6 children. So he is the man he's speaking against.
Well, you know,
So,
hey, bro,
let me, because people that are in the chat, they know what I'm talking about. This is what I'm saying. Like, understand the reason why you're gonna get this reaction to this conversation is because not because you had a difference of opinion, but because this man is a charlatan, a fraud, a coon, a simp. Okay, all of the fucking above. That motherfucker Steven from Django. All right.
And I want to. From what I understood yesterday, he said he doesn't like red pill philosophy because it's continuously having, you know, a negative impact on women, or it's men being obsessed with having a conversation about women.
Let me tell you, anybody in this chat will tell you that this man has several faces, several names, several troll accounts on YouTube and Facebook. He'll go on Facebook and troll under his various different names. If he has such a problem with this thing, like red pill, first of all, red pill is awareness. It's just awareness. Okay, it's just awareness of how women move, and it's a little bit more than that, but it's awareness. It's a knowledge. It's an awareness. That's all it is. It's accepting shit as is, right? What a Mary seeks to do is throw motherfuckers under the bus on some Cynthia G shit. He does it frequently. Again, you're not familiar with this guy, and most of the guys in the chat are, and they hear the inflammatory shit that he says about black men. This guy is a understudy of Cynthia G. That's what you're dealing with. Okay, this is a guy who, like I said, is a contradiction to everything he might have said to you. He came to you talking that righteous, you know, pump the black fist shit, but he's not that. He's not that. Okay, and shout out to Chaos Rain. Come get your mans. Come get your mans. That's your mans. Don't stand too close to that dude, because every day this guy opens his mouth on one of these platforms, he loses credibility, and you might his credibility loss might rub off on you.
Well, look, man, let's, you know, so enough about that topic, right? Because we didn't come here for that shit. I didn't,
we had
not
to
today. You know what I'm saying? So
what you did was incredible. What you did, I understand you don't want the credit. I understand you're reluctant and humble about it, but you know, not to go further into it, but you know, shout out to you and Mr. BGS Idmore.
Oh, for sure, bro.
Okay, for the display that happened yesterday, the technical knockout, the Bobby Brown jaw and the black eye. Y'all gave this motherfucker live. I was home. I was jumping the fuck up and down, doing backflips as this shit was going down. Again, if you missed it live, go to BGS Idmore and check it out. And mind you, he's saying that he served you.
Oh, well, you know, well, I mean, you know, he's welcome to come on my show and talk about whatever the fuck.
He's not
you know,
gonna come, bro. But
you know, at the end of the day, man, the whole look. Here's my view on all this shit. You know, like, look, I understand that women feel like they've been oppressed and so on and so forth, man. But I'm not taking the language of white women, feminists, and interpolating it, you know, into a political philosophy and substituting sexism for racism. And it's, when you think about it, it's absurd. Bro. I mean, you know, like I've gone over this before. Bro. Sexism has nothing to do with the magnitude of racism. Women in droves, because they were women, have never been moved from one continent to another to perform perpetual labor, or just on account that they were women. It's never happened. Mass acts of genocide against women, just because they're women, it's never occurred. It just hasn't. Now, I'm not saying that, you know, women have not been cleansed ethnically on ethnic grounds, or that, they haven't suffered deaths on, racial grounds. I think that has occurred. But just, because they're women, like, where is this? Like, where is the evidence of this in history?
I just want to know, how can Amiri or women at large talk this negative shit about the patriarchy when it, while asking for components of it from men every day? This is something that, if it doesn't benefit you, you would not ask for it. There was no beneficial component to slavery, okay? Which slavery was oppressive. If patriarchy is so oppressive, then why are you still asking or demanding, requiring components of patriarchy in 2022 relationships when your basic needs and everything else are being met by the state, or you're making equal pay and all of this other shit, right? You're still demanding patriarchy in your relationship. So what do you define as patriarchy? What they're defining as patriarchy is any responsibility, accountability, or requirement demanded of them in the patriarchal framework. So they want the benefits of patriarchy. They don't want to pay into it. So it's men like him and his bit abroad committee, right, that feel like men should serve as patriarchs and not receive any reciprocate. How dare you want reciprocation for your duty? You are a slave. I keep telling guys this. You are a slave. You have no reason to ask for anything in return for your service to these women. And that's the patriarchy that I want to smash.
Well, I said before, man, I even did a show on this shit. There's 3 types of dudes. That's the Chinwezu book and the Anatomy of Female Power that I talked about. You got macho men, you got mushos, and then you got masculinists. The machos think they run shit, but really they nest slaves. Okay? You got mushos who really have become nothing more than penis-twisted pram pushers who feel like they're obligated to do whatever women say because women have made a claim that they're oppressed. It's guilt-laden, okay? So a lot of guys feel like they're, in the wrong because they've done something to prevent women from being able to function, flourish, and thrive.
Right.
Okay? In the context of the current culture, okay? And then you got masculinists who are like, okay, well, if women say they want equality, I'm all for that shit. But don't put me on the hook to behave in any kind of way and to take on any kind of risk that you yourself aren't willing to take on. I mean, if you want equality, it means being equal, right. Taking equal risk, contributing equal money and dividends. This ain't the motherfucking 50s and the 60s, bro. This is 2022, bro. Women can get out here and get it in the marketplace just like a man can, and they fought for that. That's what the second wave of feminism was about.
Exactly.
So don't lament the situation and, require something that you out there getting for your fucking self. Like, I mean, this is the consequences of what you asked for. You asked to be able to enter into the workplace in order to make your own bread. But now you are lamenting the fact that, okay, well, it ain't enough niggas on my level able to give me X, Y, and Z as a woman. What you got to forego that now. There's no more social expectations that you have to marry up. All that marry up shit, it's done with. Because a man does not have in his mind, I got to marry up. Right. Now, I'm not saying that, you should, marry someone of a low social status. If we even thinking in that way, I thought that kind of way of thinking was supposed to be abolished with the abolishment of nobility and honorific titles and shit like that. I thought that was supposed to be eliminated anyway. But, I'm not going to even go there, man. Look, let's get to the proceeds, man. My viewpoint on it is a woman is a human being, man. And she didn't decide to be a woman any more than I decided to be a man. Well, let me rephrase that. She didn't decide to be female. nor did I decide to be male. That was the luck of the draw of birth. It is what it is. Now, I can decide to be a man related to my perception of manhood, yeah. Or a woman can do the same in relation to her perception of what womanhood is as a value or as an identity or as a performance, however you want to categorize it. But I mean, at the end of the day, just because you got a uterus don't mean that I'm going to be kowtow or, treat you like an infant.
Right.
No more than you should treat me like one on the account that I'm a male. All I'm asking for is the same respect and the same kind of motherfucking dignity that anybody else is supposed to receive. That's it. I'm not asking for no special treatment, none of that shit. Here's the problem. This is my only issue. Women from second wave feminism are asking for distributive justice and equality and parity and fairness related to money and material goods. But they don't want equality of retribution.
Right.
That's the dilemma right there. That's the whole fucking problem. You want the equality of distribution, but you don't want equality of retribution.
Or reciprocity.
That dog ain't hunting. You can't be an individual who wants offices and titles open to you that are going to require accountability from you, and if you do something fucked up, you're gonna have to be subjected to retribution.
Yeah, they want to collect from it. They don't want to pay into it. That's that. I mean, any words you might use, whether you want to use retribution, whether you want to use reciprocation, whatever words you want to use, right?
Shout out to Mr. Blue Collar, by the way. Let me give him
no doubt.
Give him a bond for that. Shout out to that brother, man. Thank you, Mr. Blue Collar, man. Yeah, if you can support the Green Gorilla channel, I'm putting in work. It is what it is. So,
so they, they don't want to have any responsibility or even obligation to they want the benefits of patriarchy, without the return. They don't want to return.
And another thing that, I have an issue with, man, and I was having a conversation with the brother who I was helping move furniture earlier, he's an African from Kenya. And, he was, just talking about how, men in Africa are having some of the same problems, the men in America are, okay? And, one of the things that we discussed is, how easy it is for a woman to walk away and utilize the justice or the family court system,
right,
to put you in a pinch, right? So unless there's a means by which to remedy those kind of situations to where you're left on the hook. Look, you know what this dude told me, man? He said, and I'm not bullshitting. He told me he used to fuck this chick in Africa, right?
All right.
And I'm not trying to go there or go not there or whatever the case may be, but he was like,
man,
okay,
let's go there.
So, I used to smash this bitch a long time ago, and, I went back to visit, and, she was pregnant, and she asked me, could I help support her? And the baby ain't his because he ain't smashed it in years. But she acting like, that it's actually acceptable for her to have him included in the process of nurturing and being financially, participatory in the cultivation of her seed. I was like, man, are you serious, nigga? Like, man, the first thing I'd have said is, bitch, be gone.
So, dig, right? Nah, I'm with you.
I'm just saying, I'm not saying that all women in Africa are the same, or that, they all act like women from America, or whatever the case may be. But I know one, I wish a motherfucker would come to me and ask me to help her take care of her kid that she got by another fucking dude.
Amen.
I'll be like, bitch, you are out of your fucking cotton picking mind. I'll let you.
Hey, G, you my man. Stop making these concessions, man. Well, I ain't saying always. Fuck that. If they gonna take it a fucked up way, they gonna take it a fucked up way. Check this out, brother. At the end of the day, yeah, man, stop doing that shit. Yo, you my man, but I hate when you do that. When you kind
Hey
of
man, you know we all gonna do shit that others don't like. You know,
no, it's not that I don't
but
like.
let's not let that shit take away from what we came here to do. So let's do what we came here to do.
Okay, so let me set this up because I'm gonna have to say a whole lot because you know, for the brothers that are in here that know what's going on, they know what's going on. For the brothers in here that don't know what's happening, you know, they following you on YouTube. They don't know about the conversation that's happening on Facebook.
And hold on, I gotta take time out to do a public service announcement. Thank you, brother PDOT. Appreciate that. Brother PDOT says, if you haven't done a video contrasting equality versus equality of distribution, I encourage you to do so. This will provide another vehicle of understanding for men who think mathematically, lack of a better word. Yeah, I think that might be a good show to do. I think so because, you know, ultimately, if you want equality, then you have to have full equality in relation to the law, not equality, you know, that brings about some sort of equity. And I think that's the problem, right? They feel like they are deserving of equity because they feel like they're in a substandard position or, you know, like a position of vulnerability that men are not in. Like men all throughout the world are colluding with one another. You know, like take for example, and I think this, you know, some guy named Tate, you know, Doc Johnson put the clip of the video up, right? So most men are not rich. Most men don't have access to all this power and this privilege that these women who are feminists claim that they do. Okay?
Right.
It's only a small, narrow group of men who have all of this concentrated wealth and all of this concentrated political power. The vast majority of men don't have access to it, but they use these categories of man and woman in order to lump everybody together. And to me, that's like, it's a blunt means by which to explain something that's intricate. It's like trying to do brain surgery with a sledgehammer. It's not an accurate means by which to actually give a good depiction of what's actually objectively happening on the ground. It ain't like the richest man in the world when he sees me is gonna make sure, let me kick you down. We gotta keep the manhood shit alive. If you think that's what patriarchy actually is, and you can't believe that's what patriarchy is.
Yeah, but if patriarchy is, you know, they keep shifting the definition when it's convenient. So 1 minute is, oh, it's fatherhood. The next minute is this oppressive force, and oppressive system is a group of men sitting in the room rubbing their hands together, conspiring. At the same time, you know, all women and children off the boat first is also patriarchy, right? So, man, let's get into it, bro. We 48 minutes.
Yeah,
in,
we 48
right?
minutes into this shit. Let's get to it, bro. Let's do what we came here to do, dog.
So I won't say the name of this person, but anybody that follows me on Facebook, they probably gonna type the name in the chat. So a guy on Facebook made a post. He said, "Do you think it's?" He said, "America, as a culture, thinks it's perfectly acceptable for men to take millions of rejections, and they consider it healthy." Right? I'm paraphrasing. That's the best way I can remember it. Right? The millions of rejections, they think it's healthy. Right? So I saw this post. I'm like, okay, I know millions is hyperbole because you ain't approaching 1 million women. Right?
Right. That's
So,
true.
So I said, okay, this is in my last video. So we're going to start it off here. Some of this stuff, if you listen to my last video, you heard already. I'm going to say it again. To adjust for hyperbole, I said, you know what, G? I'm going to say if a dude is approaching 30 women a month, 30 women a month, which is still a lot. You got to do a lot of work to approach 30 women a month. You really working. You ain't doing much else. You approach 30 women a month. If 30 women out of 30 women reject you, it's a good chance. Now, words are important. So I'm going to say this again. It's a good chance you might have some work to do. I said that, and I got immediate pushback. Right?
So what did you hold on, wait a minute. What did you say that was controversial? I mean,
No,
I don't
what I just said was controversial. So understand, right? I said if you are experiencing that much rejection, then maybe you got some work to do, right? So I had a conversation with Mr. Adam MGTOW about this. Adam MGTOW is not the one who made this statement, but we both follow the guy who made the statement, right?
Okay.
I will say who said it. It was Will Hunter. And for those who
Okay.
follow Will Hunter on Facebook, y'all know who Will Hunter is. Okay. So Will Hunter said it. So me and Davi MGTOW spoke on this, right? And he tried to advocate for the men by saying, you know, we know women are on their high post bullshit. We don't take that away. Again, we talk about this shit all the time. How average women want above average dudes and the 80-20 rule and all this other shit, right?
Hey,
We
boy,
talk
I
about
don't
all
even
this. Yeah, we talk about all that stuff all the time, right? Now, mind you, anytime I talk about these things, these guys push me like you. You know, I never express interest in being, you know, PUA dating coach, any of this shit. But if we're gonna have the conversation, go ahead and address that.
Yeah, so shout out to Big Kev, 9539. He says dating is like sales. That's the reality that we try to ignore.
Right.
Give him a bomb for that. Thank you for your donation, sir. So yeah, let's talk about that. Let's frame the conversation around this issue right here.
I want to cap it off. So shout out to Big Kev 9539 because I did make that point, right? Everybody can't be a Mac Daddy. Let's just face it. Everybody can't be Mac Daddy.
The miggity Mac Daddy.
Miggity Mac Daddy. Everybody can't be Mac Daddy. Okay, so what I'm saying is there's something about your strategy that's off if you're getting 100% rejection rate or 99% rejection rate. Either you hollering at the baddest chicks and you ain't fitting that criteria. Right? Now, before anybody gets mad, this is something Kevin Samuels told women who wanted high value men for 2 years straight, and niggas applauded him. Right? So the other way around works also, where men also have a sexual marketplace value. There are things that men are doing to affect women one way and women the other. I'll explain it. If you're telling me that you're approaching women, first of all, any of these guys that are experiencing that rejection level, G, I know you can, I know I can. If I seen you, or if I seen your approach, I could tell you immediately what you're doing wrong. Not only that, most of these guys, we don't even know what they look like because they avatars. Let's keep it real. Let's keep it fucking real. Like most of these guys are fucking avatars. They don't, y'all looking at me as I'm speaking, y'all know what my face looks like. Most of these guys are avatars. And you ask them, well, what are your bargaining chips? What is it about you that women would find attractive? And my man told me Oh, I don't tell motherfuckers my business. I ain't ask you your business. I ask you, what about you attracts or should attract these women? So he says, "Oh, I think I'm eligible." See, when you say shit like that, no, I don't want to hear that you're eligible. I want details. I want details. Give me details. Since I don't know what you look, well, I do know what Will Hunter looks like, but I want details. Other things that should affect attractiveness. Tell me you're a smooth guy. Tell me that, I don't know, you're this tall or you dress like this or whatever. Whatever you could think of that should, you think, in your opinion, the chick should be like, oh, wow, this nigga here. Whoa. You try to do that Kevin Samuel shit to me. See, once I hear shit like that, bro, it tells me everything I need to know. Because everybody on the internet plays up their positive attributes. Everybody does it. Everybody does it. All right. If a woman pretty, she gonna show her face. That's why when you argue with most of these women that's in this feminist arena, you don't know what they look like. They hiding behind a Nairobi painting or some shea butter bullshit. Okay, let's keep it real. Let's keep it real.
Okay, okay. Right. Ask me a question though, bro. I mean,
so here we go. Here we go. So basically, again, he didn't answer that question. So basically, what ended up happening is me and Davi Migtai ended up going back and forth about this. About he considered, when I said self-improvement, as soon as you mention self-improvement to these guys, the retort is burnout. Burnout. Right? Which indicates to me that you think that any effort is too much because you're reaching. There's a lot of mileage between where you are and burnout. So what I'm asking you, brother, and this would be the first question I ask you. If a guy told you that he was experiencing that much rejection, would you say what I said? Would your conclusion be that this man, 9 times out of 10, it may be something in his physical appearance, his demeanor or approach that was lacking?
Yeah, okay, so put it this way.
Right. Let's kick it.
This is the way I look at it, man. Okay? I believe that there's somebody for everybody.
That's bullshit. Good.
Well, I don't think it's bullshit at all. So let me explain to you why I say this.
All right.
You might not be able to get a 10,
right?
10%, 100% of the time.
Mm-hmm.
But you mean to tell me you can't get nobody? Like, there ain't nobody who's fucking with you.
Yeah.
Nobody. Now, if there's nobody fucking with you,
right,
then my question is going to be, something, akin to what you said. Like, first of all, what are you doing? Like, how are you approaching these people? Like, what is your strategy in order to actually try to draw a connection between the opposite sex? Like, what is it that you're actually doing? And by the way, you know what I look like in real life, nigga.
Yeah.
Okay?
I do.
So you do, okay? Then most of the guys here don't. But I mean,
but your issue is different. Understand this, right?
But wait a minute. But here's the thing.
Right.
You don't know what the fuck you doing. If that would be my response. If you got that much rejection, it's something you doing it's wrong. Okay? And I'm gonna tell you why. Because based on my personal experience, even as a child, I've had girls rubbing on my dick since I was a kid. I'm just not, and they weren't just ugly, trollish looking chicks either. But like some badass motherfucking little girls. And so I'm like, when I was a kid.
But that's not fair. See, let me tell you why that's not fair.
It has nothing to do with fairness, bro.
No, I understand that.
Okay, so wait, I know you want to talk.
No, go ahead. I'm listening
But you
to
gotta let me answer the question, okay?
Right.
Bro, at the end of the day, you can't change what you look like.
Of course you can. Who's that?
My father right there.
Right.
You can't change what you look like. But you can change your game. You can change that. You can change what it is that you're doing with women and how you approach them, if that's what you want to do in the first place. Go ahead and proceed, bro. Go ahead.
Okay. The reason why I said, and let me first respond to a few things you said. You said you can't change what you look like. You can to a certain degree. You can. Secondly, as far as the chicks rubbing on you, these are not guys who have that problem. Understand, they're trying to get women to rub on them. That won't. If women are rubbing on you without you having to do anything, you don't have these men's problems. They are trying to get where you are, right? What I'm trying to explain to some of these guys is there are things you can do to get closer to being the man or the boy who's getting his dick rubbed. So understand this, right? I'm telling these guys. So to go back to what this guy was saying. Basically, he's talking about burnout. You know, I want to address the article because there was an article that came out said 5,000 people sample, 5,000 sample size survey or research. 1 in 3 men between the ages of 18 to 34 not having sex. So the argument from Davi Miktal was all this rejection. Now, see, it's saying that they're sexless. It doesn't say anything about rejection. He's being conclusive about why these men are sexless, right? Nowhere in the article did it say that these men were being rejected. So 30%, 1 in 3 are not having sex. So what we were trying to do is discuss why, right? Why are these men in that age group, right, sexless, right? So, Dawda, we're gonna address self-improvement.
And let me give a shout out to Dawda. You know what I'm saying? And I'm paying my tribute back to him. He says, I'm all for self-improvement as men, but where are the tools to do such? Who do you talk to, or what places should you go to? Okay? So shout out to Dawda. I appreciate the donation. And so, look, let me cut you short. Okay. So there are a group of guys, man, who are having problems dating women, and they resent it. Okay? They feel like, there's something not fair about them not being able to have access to women, or whatever the case may be. So that's
sex in particular.
Sex in particular, okay.
I want to make sure that context is clear. This is not about relationships unless guys are capping and they really want relationships when they just want sex, or guys want to start relationships with women to secure a pussy. Let's keep it real. Like, I don't like cap. I don't like cap. And thinking about these conversations, a lot of cap, right? So, one of his things is, the decline in sex is really about the decline in marriage. So are you saying that you want to secure sex through marriage? Go ahead.
Shout out to Big Kev again. He says most brothers aren't born beta, we're just raised to be that way. Exactly. There's not a huge difference between the select and non-select. Shout out to that brother. And that's my viewpoint on this. When I say there's somebody for everybody, I'm saying, look, I got partners, man, that are short. Okay, look, I lived in New Orleans. I went to college in New Orleans, right? It's a little short nigga named Rico, man. But this motherfucker had massive amounts of chicks, man. Massive. Little short motherfucker. Okay? I'm not here to speak about his looks in relation to, I'm not about to do the 1 through 10 on how the nigga look. But I do know that the nigga was an average looking dude. But one thing he did that a lot of guys, I assume, don't do is just talk to the fucker. He loved to talk to chicks. He liked it. He enjoyed it. So it wasn't something that he approached with fear and trepidation. He enjoyed the process of fucking with chicks. He liked it.
And this is how I know these guys are full of shit. If you're telling me that you're approaching this many women and you're having zero success, and I'm talking about a high number of women. Shout out to Ghetto User 49.
Shout out to Ghetto User 49.
These guys are complaining about rejection, GG, which means that they're averse to the idea of being rejected and the pain of rejection. So that's how I know that they're not talking to women, because when you play the numbers, you feel the game out. There's things that come with being rejected. Okay, crashing and burning, getting back up, getting back on the horse of talking to women. We've, the era that precedes who is now 18 to 34, we know this. So you can't talk to somebody in the drug game about how much the keys cost, and you ain't knowing how much the keys cost. Understand that when you start talking this language about women and how they move and different things like that, you can't talk to a dude that talk. Everybody in the chat knows the talk of a man that's been around women. We know who capping. Understand, if you're telling me that you're approaching women like that and you getting rejections like that, I know two things. Number one, you're exaggerating. You ain't approaching that many women. And if you're approaching any women and you're experiencing that level of rejection, you're scared of rejection. And what you being scared of rejection means is you're timid in your approach. And that turns women off. What you're saying about the short guy in New Orleans, understand this. It's not about a height thing or any of that shit. When I talk to these women and I ask them these different questions, the first thing they tell me is, they tell you what physical attributes they like in men. But one thing that they all say in common is that they want a man with a dominant demeanor. You got to be secure, sure in yourself. And when you approach women, they can read that. That's how I know niggas is capping, because I know that about women. I don't care if you fake it, nigga. On your Kanye shit, I'm God, baby. I'm Jesus Christ. I'm Walt Disney. However you got to approach that woman to make her feel you think you the shit and make her think you the shit too. If you don't know the psychology of women and you're telling me that when I say self-improvement, the first thing you think that means is go to college and get a good job and this and that. So when somebody says, the tools and this and that, understand, when I say self-improvement, I mean in the realm of attractiveness. You want to turn women on. You want to excite them. You want them to be interested in you. To me, when guys tell me all this other stuff that's irrelevant to that, they sound like the women talking about their degrees.
Well, this is the way I look at it too, though. I got different kinds of partners, man, with different kind of body types and different kind of fucking faces and different kind of skin colors and shit. And one of the things, man, I notice about the niggas that I know, man, is that, first of all, I mean, might they be, intimidated by a chick to some degree? Maybe. But even if they are, they like, fuck it. She bad as a motherfucker. I'm about to miss an opportunity to see what this about.
Right. And that's
I'm about to miss an opportunity. Now, if the chick tells me no, this is how I look at it. Right. If you tell me no, you missed out on a fucking great opportunity. You fucking idiot.
Either that or
no, I would not express that. I would not say that.
Right.
That's not something I would say. Okay? It's not something I would say. But I will say, okay, I'm gonna shoot my shot. Like, look, these niggas, a lot of you niggas play video games, right? So let me make a video game reference. Shit, especially young dudes, right? If you playing a first-person shooting game, you can't hit all your shots. It's a mathematics, unless you got a fucking aimbot going on. You're gonna miss some shots.
Right.
But so what? You miss some shots. Man, I tell you this, if I went to a club and got rejected 30 times in that same club, you know what? Personally, I wouldn't give a flying fuck about it. That's just me. I wouldn't start to think, why don't these chicks love me? Woe is me. None of that.
So understand, we're from a generation where we had no choice but to approach. If you wanted to play, you had to step. You had to. Understand, and me and you discussed this on a previous live on your channel. Understand that this is the part that I want to address. We're talking about the age groups 18 to 34. 18 to 34, these are guys who could be our children. Understand this, right? Any kid that grew up in the age of the iPhone, in the age of social media, dating apps, and things like that, right? Their reality of social engagement is not the same as ours. And a lot of these dudes are, not engaging with women. They're inside, they're on Twitch, they're on Xbox and this and that and the third, right? Or they're on shout out to Hannibal for that comment. Word. And when I say these things, it's like I'm speaking Swahili to niggas because, oh, nah, you blaming the men. I said, listen, I'm not saying that what you're saying about women. See, what he only wanted to accept is that these men are sexless because the women want too much. And I'm willing to say that plays a part in it. But understand, women are on these apps too, right? But when you go to the apps, it's a losing proposition because they're judging you off your picture, not your game, not your approach, not your demeanor. It's solely about how you look. When you're in the again, me and UG, we come from a time where you had to approach a chick on the street or it didn't happen, right? You walking down the street, you see a bad chick. If you ain't holler, you might not see her no more. You might not see her no more.
Boy, that's the one
Right.
you hate right there.
You might not see her no more. So my approach has always been, let me holler at shorty. And if she turned me down, I know that I didn't miss an opportunity. Because now I know, oh, she ain't fucking with me. Her telling me that she ain't fucking with me is how they say, I get closure. I get to move on. If I don't talk, if I see a bad chick and I let her keep going and I don't talk to her, it'll haunt me that I could have hollered and she might have responded. To me, that's a bigger issue than being rejected. And I think that rejection is healthy because exposure to rejection should create an immunity to rejection.
Yes, sir.
You get to a point where you're immune to it. So when guys talk about having an issue with rejection, that tells me that they're still in the prepubescent stages of approaching females and getting past their fear of rejection. I've been on more flights than a little bit. And like I told you, G, in the beginning, I hated flying. I can't count how many times I've been in the air. And now when the plane does all this crazy turbulent shit, that shit don't faze me because I've been in the plane so many times. It's regular to me. That's how life is. Exposure to a thing right? This is what they do in the army. They expose you to certain things so that you can get over the fear and shit. Like, thank you, Marvel Cousins. He just said, same here, Air Force. You know, they expose you to things so you can get over the things. That means you ain't exposing yourself, motherfucker. That means you're telling us, without telling us, that you're not talking to women. You're not talking to them. You're taking the easy way out. Maybe you hollering at them online or whatever the case, or maybe you just flat out ignoring them. A lot of these guys, they're so scared of rejection, they're willing to be monks. And my thing is, whether you want to talk about them or you want to talk about the guys that are shooting their shots and having that high level of rejection, again, I am the last person to give or absolve women from their role in this dating issue. Like, there's a lot of bullshit on the female end, and we could talk about that any other day. Don't get it twisted. This is me. This is still Marcus. Don't get it twisted. I ain't pulling a brown on y'all. All I'm saying is, at the end of the day, what you want to do for yourself, whether it's your physical appearance or your swag or whatever, just like G said, he know a short dude that love to talk to women. You got to get out there like you approach everything else, like you want top score in that game, like dudes know how to pop willies for blocks. They know how to do this and that, and they were willing to break their ankles and all of this other shit. Learning how to do that, you got to go out there and get your feet wet. And a couple chicks is going to tell you no. A couple chicks is going to tell you get the fuck out their face. Real talk. Right. A couple chicks going to be like, ew, you ugly nigga, get out of here. Oh my God, what do you think? Oh, why do you think I would talk to you? You got to hear all of that. Shit, if you ever been in customer service, shit, you know what? Get a customer service job. See how that go for you. But at the end of the day, man, the dudes who do this know the dudes who don't. Game recognize game, nigga. And that's how we know there's a lot of cap in these arguments. There's a lot of cap in these arguments. Either you approaching timid or weird or insecure, or your visual is crazy. It's one or the other. It's one or the other if you're approaching.
So
then, yeah, go ahead.
So here's Brother Padat. Shout out to him again. Shout out to the brother. He says guys would like relationships but don't trust women, and not in the fear-based sense, though likely not fully articulating it. They don't trust in the aspirations, machinations, and are unmoved. Now, if that's the case, that's a whole different kind of conversation than the one we're having at the current moment.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like if you been burned by so many chicks, you know what I'm saying, and you realize that, like, okay, the game is fucked up. I could have any motherfucker I want, or have, you know, somebody who's relatively decent, but I'm tired of these games, man. You know, this being played by the women. I'm only happy when I'm going up in them. Oh. Now, that's a whole different conversation than a guy who's basically like, well, men are sexless and it's unjust that these men are sexless. Like, okay, so here's my view on this, bro. It's not a political issue that you're not fucking.
Right.
That's not political, bro. It's not, this is not a matter of justice. When you start talking about justice-related issues, I'm thinking, okay, the state needs to regulate this. The municipal government needs to be able to jump in and do something about this. Okay?
Right.
It's not a justice-based issue that you can't get the skins.
See, I don't
wait a minute.
Too much because it comes off like we making fun of these dudes. I'm trying to.
I'm not making fun of these dudes either. But to me, what's funny is funny. You say you don't want me to say this or that, but you want me to put the gloves on with these motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, you be putting the gloves on with bitch.
Okay, so what I'm saying is this.
Got you.
You not getting ass. It's not a justice-based issue. It's a personal issue.
Right.
And one of the easiest, as far as I'm concerned, okay? I'm not the greatest looking motherfucker. It ain't like I'm walking around this bitch like a Giga Chad.
Right.
Yeah, I don't even know if you know what the fuck a Giga Chad is, but
I don't.
okay, look the shit up. Look up Giga Chad. Okay, it's like
okay.
A Giga Chad is a fucking artistic representation of a perfect man. Okay, like I guess according to Western shit, I saw some dude with a video who plays Apex Legends. Say all the Giga Chads hang out in this section or some shit, waiting to shoot their weapons. And I thought it was funny. I was like, what the fuck is a Giga Chad? I never heard of that shit. And then I found out what it was. Just look the shit up. Jawline niggas. There you go.
Yeah, shout out to Hassani with the jawline nigga comment.
A digital zaddy. There you go. Yeah, right. So at the end of the day, bro, look, I don't even think it does have to do with you, like you said earlier, being the best version of yourself that you can be. You know what I'm saying? Like, look, Rick Ross is a big, especially when he was a big motherfucker, right?
Mm.
I'm pretty sure he was getting chicks.
Okay, you mean before the fame?
He had a baby before the fame. He might not have had the baddest bitch,
right?
But he had somebody,
right? True indeed.
Okay, I mean, you know, like Redman was fucking Faith Evans, not that like an Adonis.
That I did not know. Continue.
Yeah, he was fucking Faith Evans a long time ago. He met her in church. You know, they both from fucking New York. Okay, who else?
Redman from Jersey.
Yeah, well, you know, the East Coast, put it that way.
True indeed.
Okay. Niggas out here, they fucking, because it's natural to fuck.
He said they fucking.
I mean, it's natural. It's one of to me, Biggie Smalls, perfect example, man. Biggie Smalls. And another thing that has to be acknowledged, though. Success breeds success. So when you have success in one area of your life, it could cross over and transfer into success in other areas of your life. However, it's not just about getting a job, because you can be a job and be, you know, like I think BGS and others have talked about this, like educated lanes. You can be an educated lane with a whole bunch of shit ton of money and just be a square. You could be a good looking motherfucker.
Right.
And not have no game whatsoever. None.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, perfect example through history. Benjamin Franklin. Nobody would perceive Benjamin Franklin as a fucking player, man. Go look at a picture of Benjamin Franklin. Benjamin Franklin was a pussy player. That's a fact. Man who discovered electricity and helped, you know, contribute towards the development of this country. He was a player, man. Insatiable appetite to fuck, or whatever the case may be. All right? You don't have to be the most handsome motherfucker in order to... Here's the deal. This is what it is. And I told you this the other day. Sexual energy is out there in the universe. It has to be. Eros is out there. It's out there. Eros is out there. You just got to see what the energy is. You got to vibe to it and understand it and let it impact and imbue through you to some degree. It just is what it is. Like, here's the deal. Women like dudes, man. Just like you like women. Even ugly women sometimes can be cute to a certain extent. No, don't act like if she got a fat ass and she might not be the best looking motherfucker, but she got a fat ass, she's shapely.
She got ass though.
Okay, or a cute woman with a funny body. You don't know why you like her, but you like her. Okay? So at the end of the day, just like you are attracted to the feminine form if you're a heterosexual male. Women are attracted to the masculine form.
And let's touch that, please. We got to get into that.
They are attracted to the masculine form. And I'm not talking about performing or acting a certain way as much as just phenotypically.
Yes. Yeah.
Phenotypically, they are attracted to the male form. Now, my whole thing is, if I see a woman, like women will thirst you. Now, I mean, women will look at you. Well, I'm not. Well, maybe it's just me. Okay, I don't think I'm that handsome though. Okay, but I think I'm decent enough looking. If a woman is looking at me, and she looks at me, I might say, okay, maybe I'm tripping. You know what I'm saying? But is this bitch like straight up looking at me like this? And if I see it on more than one occasion, 2 or 3 times, I look up and I look in this bitch direction and she looking dead at me. I'm gonna go over there and say something to her. And depending upon what the circumstances are, I'm gonna say something indecent.
Right. Just
to see if my indecency is gonna give me something that same night. Because if you tapping, if I feel like you giving me sexual energy and that's it, then fuck it. I'm not trying to give you nothing more than that in return. Period. I'm just saying. So okay. Case in point, I had a line brother who was getting married. I told you this story, but I'm gonna tell it again so these guys can hear it. Okay.
Right.
Line brother getting married. We at the motherfucking rehearsal dinner. Now, I came to the rehearsal dinner late. But I came to the motherfucker. I just left the gym. So I had the pump on and everything. You feel me? I'm walking that motherfucker's arms cut out the shirt. I'm walking in. Cocky as a motherfucker. Talking shit to the bros. And I can notice the women, like, damn, okay. So I can bag any of these bitches I'm feeling. That's just me thinking. But I'm not even there for that. I'm there to support my LB. But later on, after the dinner started and motherfuckers, start eating and shit, it was a girl at a table, 3 or 4 tables over, and she kept staring at me. I'm like, this bitch is all on me. And when I saw her stand up, she had the package, bruh. And I ain't talking about A's. I'm talking about she had the goods like Madeline Woods. Like Fife said. She had titties and ass and all that. Wasn't the best looking chick in the face, but boy, her body was super banging. So I just kept that in my mind. I said, okay, all right. So all the bros congregated outside. We all started to leave or whatever the case may be. And motherfuckers was like, damn, you seen old girl? Her name is Barbara. She ain't plugged into this. I wouldn't disrespect her no way. She cool. Anyway, I call her B. Motherfucker was like, damn, boy, you seen B busting out like that? I was like, okay, yeah. And motherfucker was like, I wonder who gonna hit that this weekend. The first thing I did was, I said, I'm about to see if it's gonna be me. So I left the bros, went over to where she was, because she looked like she was walking to a car. And I was like, what's up? How you doing? And we started rapping. It wasn't a long conversation. I was like, what you doing later on? She was like, I don't know. I'm thinking about maybe going to the house and blah, 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 la, la, la. And she asked me what I was doing. I said, shit, hopefully something indecent with you.
Right.
And, she was like, that ain't gonna happen. That's not, she gave me the response like that.
Right.
So I said, okay, cool. I was just trying to find out who you was, blah, 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 la, la, woo, woo. Then I walked back over to the bros and they was like, what she say, dog? What she say? I was like, well, she said, that shit ain't about to pop off. 2 minutes later, that same motherfucking chick, man, came over to where the bros was and asked me to come here. And I left. She told her ride, whoever she came with, I'm rolling with this nigga.
Right.
And it was some bullshit. Now, if it didn't happen, so fucking what? Like, if it didn't happen, there was no sweat off my back. Like, I didn't lose shit. It did, like, you had, like, this, there is nothing to lose with approaching these chicks, bro.
This is what I told fam. I said, this is zero risk, high reward shit. It's zero risk. A no or rejection is not a loss. You never had the shit. You didn't lose. We talking about sexual access, gentlemen. We ain't talking about relationships. We ain't talking about wives. We ain't talking about submission. We talking about fucking. Understand. If you don't approach, understand, right? This man approached this woman. He said what he said. He walked away. You know what happened? That shit stirred in her mind. She thought about it. She's like, oh shit, well, damn, I could go home by myself. Or I could be fucking tonight. And a lot of girls, y'all think girls don't think this way. Y'all think girls ain't got like a sexual urge where it's like, okay, this nigga's down to fuck. Let me holler at him and let's go do it. And he got right to it. I'm sure that a lot of these guys are approaching these women on some real nice guy shit. This is the shit that we were told to do. We were told to approach these women on some nice guy shit. Now, you complain about the Pookies and the Ray Rays getting all the pussy, but this is how they approach women. They don't treat women nice. Look at how they treat them, and they get all the pussy. Well, shit, what the fuck are you doing then? Why are you continuing to do the shit that doesn't work that you think should work because you think your way is the right way and their way is working? Your way ain't working. He approached her. He said, I'm trying to do something indecent with you tonight. Shit. I've said shit like that and worse to women. Okay.
Man, so when I was in college, man, I had a group of guys I hung around. They was all older than I was. They was all upperclassmen and fraternity niggas and shit like that, but they loved me for some reason. I was from St. Louis. I met one of them that night. He was like, "Oh, nigga, he was like, what part of St. Louis you from?" He was like, "I was from the north side, baby." He was like, "Oh, shit, this is my little nigga right here."
Right.
So he exposed me to these guys, man. These guys, man, they didn't give a fuck about rejection. They didn't care about nothing in the world, man. Nothing. Like, to them, rejection was part of the territory.
Right.
And they thought they was the shit regardless of what any motherfucking woman ever thought. They just thought they was the shit. And they told me, they was like, "Hey, bro, if you like her that much and she giving you that vibe, tell her you want to put something in her."
Right.
I want to put something in you. Just like that. Don't bullshit with these chicks. For what?
Right.
Don't play games with them. Now, I mean, if you want to make that chick your gal, make sure, everybody can't fuck her. You know what I'm saying? And they had a term for, the trains. They call them family. And they'll ask you straight up. They'll be like, she family or your Vandy? They call it Vandy. Your Vandy or family affair. If she fucking everybody, she out here like that. That's what type of shit she on. And this chick's out here like that. But I mean, the whole point is, these dudes did not give a fuck about rejection. And that's how you have to have, that's how you have to approach this. There is nothing you lose. You know how they say, a coward dies 1,000 deaths.
Mm-hmm.
A real, G dies but once.
Right.
You dying in your mind on what you thinking this motherfucker like or don't like. Man, I swear to God, bro, you gotta expose yourself to rejection. That's the beginning of all of this. And you'll get, it's like, this is what I also, kind of compare it to. Like, say for example, like I know how to play the piano, okay? but I could never get good at it if I didn't play it.
Yeah.
You got to play it. Like, you have to play the game in order to win the game.
Yeah.
You can't win the game if you don't even play it. There's no way to win. You've already lost the game by refusing to play. Now, I can understand if, relationships, but we ain't even talking about like straight up relationships. And another mistake a guy, like a lot of guys do, is they'll start fucking with one chick, they'll get some ass and then fall in love. Yeah, that's a no-no as well. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, the first shot of ass you get, these motherfuckers sprung and willing to do anything. No. Now, I really don't give dating advice because I feel like that's not my realm, and I don't want to exploit guys and tell them I got the game that's going to get them the pussy. Like, to me, that's lame to me. And you got to pay me to get this understanding. You could join my class and all this shit, and I'm about to sell you the game, and, that's sucker shit to me. I hate to say that, but no shade on the guys who do that, but I don't move like that. And Solar Years says, how can you play if you're not allowed to? Bro, who is stopping you from approaching chicks, man? That would be my response. Like, don't rely on an app for your access to the enjoyment of the erotic, bro. Don't ever rely on a fucking swipe on a tablet or a phone to interfere with your joy, your hedonistic pleasures on this planet. I wouldn't. I'm just saying, Soul Razor. Okay, so Soul Razor, bro. And this is constructive. I'm not trying to tear you down. I'm not trying to, for all the guys out there who have problems with chicks, if you're one of those guys, stop giving these chicks that much motherfucking, like, stop pedestalizing these motherfuckers. They are human beings.
Right.
And they 9 times out of 10, they fucking somebody. They fucking somebody. So, yeah, he says, how can you approach when they size you up? You're already deemed to not even be allowed to step into the batter's box to even take a swing, yet alone run the bases. Well, I mean, I feel like that, hey, look, I feel like they all do that. I think all women have that. Look at this nigga come up to me. Watch these. Look at this nigga and what he blah blah. Look at how he, man. Look, I got one partner, man. All he do is tell jokes. It's niggas. He laughs his way into the pussy. I mean, that's how he gets it. You gotta use what your strengths are and just be yourself, like how you are with your homies and whatever. Just be yourself. You don't have to change nothing you are. I mean, you might have to accentuate what you are, but man, I'm not giving these chicks that much energy, bro, to the point where I'm like, oh, I'm nervous. Like my whole value as a human being is called into question related to me approaching this chick. Fuck that. 9 times out of 10, she fucking somebody anyway. May as well be me if she gonna let it. Now, if she don't, I'm off of it, bruh. I'm done. I'm not gonna brown nose nobody, male or female. Hey, but I definitely ain't brown nosing no chick for no sex. For what?
Hey, brother, can I interject? What I'm gonna say, there's a few things that I want to say because I want to make sure that these points are made before I forget them. I need brothers to honestly look in the mirror and take a self-evaluation of yourself. Like, fuck all the bullshit, right? Fuck all the trying to be cool for online and because you don't want niggas to clown you. Take a self-evaluation, an honest one of yourself. Visually and what to ask yourself, because I ain't gonna ask you no more. Because Gigi said he wouldn't sell you the fucking game. I will if niggas is gonna argue with me. Okay, if niggas is gonna argue with me when I give it away for free, right? When I tell niggas, no, it's not that, it's this, and you want to debate me being the nigga that's losing, right? You want to debate me, I'm gonna sell you the information because I need to get paid for the headache.
Well, you know, I'm not. I look. I understand. I understand your. I understand what you're saying, but like you know,
okay, go ahead, man. I had a
the
lot
sword
to
cuts
say,
both
man.
ways. You know, like you know, like if you want to talk about Kevin Samuels, one of the things that Kevin Samuels and women were paying attention. They was like, okay, well, I want a nigga like X, Y, and Z. Some of them were obstinate and ignorant, but I guarantee you, it's a lot of women was like, okay, let me take some pointers so I can catch this nigga. Okay, let me lose some weight. Let me work out a little bit. Let me work on my presentation and my attitude some so I can get me a nigga. Well, I mean, you know, like one of the things, you know, me and my boys realized is, you know, early on though, like working out, it does help. Like it does make chicks thirsty more, dog. Like go to the gym. You'll come to love it. Go to the gym, man. Work out. Work out, nigga. Get your, I mean, I ain't saying you gotta get swole up, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, but just work on your own physical appearance. There's nothing wrong with that. I ain't saying be a metrosexual or nothing like that. You ain't got to wear a fucking 3-piece suit. But damn, you know, look, work on your appearance and don't force yourself. Don't fuck with one chick, man, early on, bro. Just fuck with a bunch of them, man. When I was, I don't know, I had to be about 20 something. I just left college. You know, I had some women in college or whatever, but I came back home to St. Louis and I was like, shit. I'm hollering at 100 chicks. Like, you say 30, I was like, I'm hollering at 100. And it was just an experiment. Like, I'm hollering at 100 chicks. And I forced myself. I said, if she looks good to me, if she meets my, you know, beauty meter standards, I'm hollering at her. I don't care if she in a car. I don't care if she at the bus stop. I don't care if she in a library. I don't care if she in the church. I don't care if she in the mall, the supermarket. I'm hollering. I'm hollering. I don't care if she hood or if she suburban. If she look good to me, I'm hollering. And, you know, once you get in that mode of mind, man, it's just, you know, it doesn't matter anymore. Like if a chick tells you no, a lot of times what you'll hear is, I got somebody already. I'm already with someone. I have a boyfriend. And it might be true. What, you gonna get mad at the chick if she actually has a guy that she fucking with and she don't want to want to be a slime ball? So, you know, like, but it's if you want to do that. I'm not saying that this is, to me, I'm just going to say this. Real talk. Don't think that because you fucking a lot of chicks, that that's giving you some man points in my book. Because I don't care about that shit. Personally. Because you fucking a lot of women don't necessarily mean that I think that like you're the coolest guy on the planet. I don't give a fuck about that shit. It ain't doing nothing for my dick. So why would I care? I don't care. Because dogs can fuck. So that, to me, fucking don't make you a man. That's just my personal opinion. But, you know, if it's something you want to do, like if you want to be able to play the piano, if you want to be able to shoot basketball, you have to practice it. You have to do it. You can't do it by sitting on the sideline. So I really don't want to exhaust this, man. We almost at the 2 hour mark. I don't know, I if you got any questions you want to ask me, Marcus, man, before we burn out of here, man. Because some guys, they think that because like some dudes, man, do this shit and they hobosexuals and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like niggas go around using chicks for quick little come ups and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like that's lame to me. Not that I hate it. I mean, you can do what you want to do. You know what I'm saying? Like if that's how you choose to live or whatever the case may be. But like if you don't ever take time out to develop yourself, because you can have an excess of fucking with chicks and you never take the time out to actually develop yourself.
Understand this, right? My point to guys is the self-improvement that these guys think that I'm addressing is the self-improvement that they've been told by women, right, that they need to do. Meaning they've been told all the things that, they are to do to provide and protect and be this, relationship guy. But we ain't talking about that. We talking about sex access. See, the thing I have a problem with, right, is guys understand dual mating strategy. They understand alpha fucks beta bucks. They understand that. These are concepts that I didn't create. Right? So when I say self-improvement, they go into the beta bucks definition of that. Oh, let me get a nice car and get my money up and get this job and get this education and this master's degree and all this shit that ain't got shit to do with why women fuck men.
Yeah, I think that's true though.
You're making yourself the relationship provisional choice that comes after the initial sexual choice. All this bitching in the space about Pookie and Ray Ray, right? And some of it has merit, some of it. But to the point of complaining about who's fucking who, get the fuck out of here. Listen to this. As opposed to complaining about Pookie's access to women, how about you study that motherfucker and learn from him? And this ain't no defense of criminals. Understand that there are components to Pookie and Ray Ray that have nothing to do with his criminality that are attractive to women. You don't have to be a thug. Because again, like I keep telling motherfuckers, Pretty Ricky fuck all day. And he ain't a lame and he ain't a thug. And Pookie ain't necessarily a thug too. I think the term Pookie is overused. The term people really want to say is thug. Thug is a criminal. Pookie is your regular motherfucker in the hood nigga. That's how I consider Pookie. Pookie is not necessarily a thug. Now, a thug can be Pookie, but a Pookie is not always a thug. Understand this. Study these motherfuckers and understand why she's choosing him over you. There's a psychology to it. There's something called emotional intelligence where, okay, Gigi says he approaches some chicks and he says indecent shit, which might not apply in all situations. You have to read the woman and you have to read the situation and then decide what you're going to say. And that comes with practice. And the reason why niggas is complaining is because they haven't practiced. I didn't go to no game coach. I didn't go to none of this shit. Understand, I come from an era where if a nigga wanted to win, he had to go out and holler at chicks. I want guys. You ain't got to tell me, since you don't want me to niggas don't want me to evaluate them. I want motherfuckers to tell me. Anybody that's saying or thinking that they're having this issue, look at yourself, whether it be physically or think about your approach. What are you saying to these women? Understand that if you coming across timid, insecure, second guessing yourself or any of that shit, any approach that lacks confidence, it's not gonna win. If that's how you're approaching women, 9 times out of 10, it's affecting your score, bro. So
and let me just say this for the record though. I have fumbled the pussy before. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, you know, I have fumbled it. It was there for me, and I fucked it up.
no, understood. I mean, we've
It
all done that.
happens.
Listen, there's a million ways to do that. Niggas don't smash everything. Nobody smashes everything. Just understand that, you know, what I'm saying is everybody got a failure rate. But these dudes is claiming 100%, 99 percentile.
Yeah, they all say they're not really actually stepping.
That means that, yeah, they're not doing it. That's why I don't believe it. They're not doing it. Now, mind you, now I'm gonna say this. I gotta say this. I invited Adam McTowell to this discussion. He rejected. That's my man, but I gotta say this. What it seems to me is, again, we went back and forth on Facebook for over a week with these talking points. If you can debate me on Facebook with these long paragraphs, you should be able to do it live, and you should be able to stand on your position and push your ideas forth, and they'll stand next to my ideas and let the crowd decide who they rocking with. Again, he rejected, and that's cool. Again, that's my man. We won't talk about this. We'll talk about other shit. But what that tells me is that you don't even believe in what you're saying. You can say whatever you want to get past the room. You could accuse me of bullying you. You can accuse me of gloating or, you know, making fun of guys because they're not successful with women. When I don't do any of those things, when I'm on my platform or anybody else's platform, the last thing I do is belittle black men because I know the realities. Even if the issues that they're dealing with are not issues that I'm dealing with. Right? Because most of the things that get spoken about on these channels and in the manosphere, I'm not personally dealing with. But I know that they are realities, and just because I don't deal with them or they don't affect me necessarily, it doesn't mean I can't be a spokesperson for these issues. But this one here, this is a personal issue, and what I'm saying is like Gigi said, it's a personal problem that if you listen to a motherfucker that is battle tested, you might win. And put your ego aside and you need to be right in the discussion or in the argument and listen to what we're saying. That's for anybody, not just Adam McTowell, but anybody who feels like they are not experiencing success. Anything, like he said, Gigi said a whole lot that I could have said, but he said it already, so I don't have to say it again. Deliberate practice. Look it up, Google it. Deliberate practice is a term. Deliberate practice will give you success in many things. You go out there, you do it. I don't care if you holler at chicks that you don't like. You holler at chicks that you don't like. You holler at chicks that you don't find attractive, just for the practice of doing it. You got to do it. You got to feel women out. You got to socially engage. And it ain't gonna be easy first. You ain't gonna get success first, but success comes. It's just like running a business or anything else, man. And if you're telling me that you don't want to do that so that you can assess what you need to improve, either approach-wise or visually or anything else, because that's how you learn, then what you're telling me is you done gave up and I can't help you.
Yeah, my whole thing is, man, like, look, there's a lot that pisses me off about women. But that's only after you engage in some sort of long-term relationship with them. Like, prior to that, like, they cool as a motherfucker, I guess. You know, like, I mean, you can have fun with them. You sitting talking shit, motherfuckers vibing or whatever the case may be. Again, I'm more of a third home run base problem with the whole issue of women type guy. I'm worried about the man who's married who gets fucked over in a divorce, and then, you know, he can't see his kids and shit. Like the stories sometimes you see on Dr. Johnson's page where you got a woman slapping you and shit and then calling the police and you
Right.
done already had a kid with her. Those are problems I'm more like really worried
Right.
about. Not
Right.
to say that, your problem is insignificant and doesn't have any merit at all. I'm just saying, you got to actually have, you got to basically actually have an enjoyment from fucking with chicks. You got to enjoy it. Like if it's something you don't enjoy, then why even do the shit in the first place?
Well, you got to do it. I don't care if you enjoy it.
I personally look.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get it, but to me, it's enjoyable. I mean, like who doesn't enjoy, like smashing something, you know what I'm saying, and she all on your jock like that. You know what I'm saying? It's a nice feeling, you know what I'm saying? It's a nice feeling, I mean, I got chicks to this day, man, who, I smashed a long time ago that, every now and then call me and just see how I'm doing or whatever, whatever. Like it's you got to fuck with them, you know what I'm saying? Like some chicks are gonna have good spaces in your life, some gonna have some bad ones, bro. You know what I'm saying? The only thing I'm interested in is just black men knowing that, the danger that you're presented by fucking with a chick, man, who's got venom for you. That's my issue, okay? Because of some shit expectation that she had, or because of some, deranged delusions that she got in her head. Now, but at the end of the day, man, you gotta actually enjoy the company of chicks, man. If you don't, well then, I'm not like on a general prima facie first glance way. I'm not like a hater of chicks like that. I just can't stand these bitches in general. Like some of them, like I had a chick the other day, man. Around where I live, I walked to the corner store, and it was a white chick at that, and she was smoking a blunt, and she was like, "You want to smoke with me?" I'm like, "Fuck no, I don't want to smoke with you." Now, but if I was in some gang shit, I would have probably sat there and done it. But like you gotta enjoy. If this, they people, man, just like anybody else. These motherfuckers ain't gods. I ain't got to bow down and feel all intimidated and scared and my heart rate up over some motherfucker because she got a uterus and a vagina for what? So anyway, man, having said all that, man, go out there and have fun, man. Treat the shit like a game if that's what you want to do. If it's not, leave it alone. But don't have a sour grape mentality like I can't stand these bitches and you ain't even trying to talk to women at all. That's not G.
It works if you enjoy it, right? A lot of niggas don't enjoy their jobs, but they got to go to work and get money on Friday to pay rent with.
But you ain't gotta be busting chicks down. You don't have to.
No. I want you to understand what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, it's nice if you enjoy it. We enjoy it, especially at this point, because the engagement is positive for us, most of the time, not all of the time, but most of the time. You got to understand these guys' point of view, because I understand them. Like most of their interactions with women, the interaction is a bad experience. So it's hard to say just enjoy it if they're having a bad experience. So I get it. What I'm saying is you have to do deliberate practice, not only to eliminate the fear of the bad experience, or learn that if a chick's not into you, because that's another thing that guys got to learn is the language of rejection, because you'll see guys still hollering at chicks. Like you ever see like a screenshot of a DM or inbox where the dude talking and he ain't the chick ain't saying nothing, he just hitting up, hey, how you doing? Hey, hi, what's up? And there's no responses for days. And
I get it.
this chick is just not responding to you. And these dudes just keep going. The more you continue down that road where a female is not showing interest, the more, like, by the time she really tells you, nigga, I ain't interested, is going to be even harder. The thing is, dudes don't know how to be like, I take the L, right, and move on to the next thing. As far as the whole enjoy the interaction thing, my thing is this, man. Even if you don't enjoy it, you got to do it, or because if you don't do it, then you're in that group. You're in that 18 to 34 sexless group.
Well,
Or
well, look, my last story, and then we gonna end this. We 2 hours into it, but look,
I got one more point after that, but go ahead.
Go ahead, make your point.
So basically, what I'm saying is this: either you're gonna improve the things that make you more attractive. We ain't talking about none of the other bullshit. Now, I think it was Clutch and Stick might have said, if you're in California, you need to have a car. Okay, I give you that. If that's a requirement for entry, do what you got to do. Don't tell me you can't do that. Do what you got to do, right? Do what you got to do. I don't know if the shit got to be turned up or what. I know in New York, they got the subway system. Shit got to be turned up if you're driving to some degree, because there's a hierarchy of needs. They got public transportation, so either I'm gonna be riding in some fly shit or I'll take the train. But what I'm saying is meet the bare minimum requirements. Nobody's telling you to burn yourself out or be exceptional. If you want to be exceptional, you want to be that nigga, go ahead by all means. But when I hear these arguments, for burnout, and when I hear them, the first thing I'm thinking is you're reaching. You're reaching as an argument to say, damn, why I got it. It sounds like laziness to me. It sounds like, what I got to do. Shit. Y'all like Kevin Samuels. That motherfucker was going live every day and consulting people and doing this and doing that. Da, 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 da. Now, if you want to say that man burnt out, you can if you want to, but he was in his 50s. This is 18 to 34. Shit, in that age range, I was burning out my dick. Understand this. You can't win if you don't play.
Yeah, I had two babies during that era, of my life.
Right. Improve the things that will make women more interested in you. If you follow me on Facebook, DM me, right? They want me to make a series about this. Okay, it ain't going to be on YouTube. It'll be on Patreon if I do it, because I'm really not interested. I'd rather talk about the things me and Gigi talk about, political issues involving black men, laws, legal issues, things of that nature, right? But if this is what y'all want, I ain't gonna be on no Lucario shit like, hey man, just follow these 2 steps. You can get the baddest bitch in the world anytime, anywhere, anyhow. No. Mitigate your rejection. Period. At the end of the day, you got to be honest with yourself. You got to play the entry. If you want the job and it requires, hey, you had to take 2 years in college. Don't bitch about 2 years in college. If you ain't been to college for 2 years, you can't get the job. You ain't gonna get hired. That's the minimum requirements. Everything has a minimum requirement. And I ain't talking about what the bitches ridiculous shit is, because a lot of that is cap, brothers. A lot of what these chicks saying online is cap. You want to be the dude that she ignores and breaks her rules for, because she'll tell you, yo, I need a nigga to make 6 figures and the nigga this and the nigga gotta have that and blah, 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 blah. And then she'll go fuck the other dude that ain't doing none of that shit. What is he doing? What is it about him? You think, or most niggas think, is only things that they can't change about themselves. You can change how you look. You can change how you come across. These things are things that you can change. There's things that you can't change. If you're short, you ain't gonna never be tall. If you're dark or light, you ain't never gonna be the opposite. Shit, nowadays you can change fucking gender. At the end of the day, there are things that you can affect. These chicks is coming out the fucking clinic with titties and ass that they ain't had a day before. Hair that they ain't had a day before. Niggas could do what the fuck they need to do to be that nigga. Jawline, nigga.
Well, look, man, at the end of the day, man, I just, first of all, I just hope, you find what you're looking for, whatever it is out there. But don't think, that, you got to break yourself. All I know is, man, fucking with a whole bunch of women at the same time, man, is draining.
Yes, it is.
It's
not what you think it is. This shit is
it's problematic to answer your phone, man, and forget who you're talking to, and you don't know what stories you done already told or what you're gonna say next. It's like, God damn, it's too many of these motherfuckers. Like it's tiresome, and it can become tiresome, bro. It just is what it is, man. But anyway, man, I hope y'all are peaceful, and I hope you're successful. And don't lament this shit, man. You're thinking too hard, man. Stop fucking thinking too goddamn hard. Gerald Thomas say waste of time. Well,
that's my man. Shout out to Gerald Thomas from Brooklyn, in Inglewood by way of Brooklyn. Shout out to my man Gerald Thomas in the building, Brownsville, Brooklyn.
Sometimes you can't waste time with like fucking with a whole bunch of chicks, man. Like it can get to the point where it's like, what the fuck am I doing for myself? I'm fucking around with all these chicks. You know what I'm saying? Like, what the fuck am I doing for me?
Right.
So that's why I say, be careful what you wish for, because you just might get it. And then when you got it, you know what I'm saying, you ain't got time for nothing else. And, to me, one of the biggest distractions that you could ever have is fucking around with a whole bunch of women and you ain't getting shit done for your goddamn self.
Right.
That's a big no-no, man. So at the end of the day, man, y'all be peaceful. We about to end this one. I'll holler at y'all, man. I might be here tomorrow. I don't know. I wanted to get with my brother Sanddog and do a video, but we ain't gonna do that one tomorrow. We're gonna do that one next Saturday. But whatever the case may be, man, y'all be peaceful. God bless. Like Thomas says, man, y'all be peaceful, man. And remember, you the man. And you gotta walk around thinking like that, man. So, just know that you have value your damn self. You gotta know that. So anyway, man, y'all be peaceful, man. I'll holler at y'all on the next one, man.
Yeah, I'm on tomorrow. Y'all already know. Keep it 100.
I'll holler at y'all tomorrow, man. So peace.
Peace.